Thank you so much, Namwinga. Angelika, Managing Director of BYD Zambia. Sitwala Namunyima from the Ministry of Green Economy. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, I wish to share my story with you tonight. My husband, Tua, started his journey with BYD 4 years ago. Tua heard about BYD through one of his good friends who has spent much time in China exploring electric vehicle charging stations and electric vehicles. Tua, there's this brand in China, BYD, they're already huge and growing so rapidly. You really should have a look at it. Tua was intrigued, and in the spirit of a true entrepreneur, he reached for his phone and did a bit of Googling, and much nodding followed that. He then went to LinkedIn and found the contact person for BYD Africa, Steve Chang, based in South Africa. Tua was on a mission. Inspired by his focus on green impact investments in Zambia, he looked at his wife, Angelika, and Angelika's father-in-law, Joe Huila, who founded and has run Pilatus Engineering for over 44 years. Tua had a plan. Numerous decks and pitches were prepared over the years with the dedicated team from Kukula Capital to his financial advisory company. Lobbying was carried out with ZEMIA, the Zambia Electric Mobility Innovation Alliance, which commenced to lobby for reducing the duty rates for electric vehicles. Many visits were also made to my dad, Joe, to discuss electric vehicles and BYD with him, received with some skepticism based on the fluctuating power situation, but with the words, "You can try." Tua grasped the green light in front of him. He started a pilot EV taxi with Yango, and he bought the first DC charging station installed at Foxtel Court Mall. After 3 years of tireless work and still ongoing negotiations with BYD, Tua traveled to Cape Town and attended his first face-to-face meeting with the BYD South Africa team, where it was enthusiastically discovered that BYD Auto were now pleased to move forward with preparing the dealership agreement for Zambia with Pilatus. Tua was beaming. The very same day of the BYD meeting, Tua fell off a horse, which resulted in a brain bleed. He was in ICU for 4 days, and when he came out of ICU, he was stable, but he had lost his speech entirely and was lame on the right side of his body. He couldn't speak, walk, or move his right hand. Tua's mother and sisters and I were by his bedside day and night. We were trying to get Tua medevac to Denmark to start his rehabilitation program. My mind was spinning in 1,000 places for what the future would hold, but holding firmly onto hope as my guide. Tua, you will talk, you will walk, I insisted. Tua was just out of ICU, and he was desperately trying to communicate something to us through a combination of his hand waving up and down and the only sound he could make, which was ka-ka-ka. His sisters worked studiously at breaking it down. Tua, do you want to talk about your family? Tua, are you trying to talk about what? Tua, is it Kukula? Tua, is it Foxtel Court? Tua, is it Foxtel Forest? I left Tua's sisters to their incredible decoding ability. I went to have a nap after having been on the night shift by Tua's bedside. When I got back to Palmedi Clinic later in the day, Tua's sisters and his mother were all staring at each other in disbelief. I was told Tua had been trying to communicate BYD to us. Tua would like you, Angelika, to call BYD. And I thought, honestly, Tua, I know you had a great meeting with BYD the day of your fall, but this is not the time to ask me or anyone else to call BYD. We're trying to get you stable enough to have you medevaced to Denmark to start your rehabilitation program. My mind is on relocating our family for the period of your rehabilitation. What am I going to do? What am I going to say to BYD at this present time? I packed up our home in 5 days, and I traveled to Denmark with the children to an unknown future ahead. Tua persevered. With 8 hours of rehabilitation, Monday to Friday, speech therapy, physiotherapy, and occupational therapy, Tua began to speak again. He began to heal, being the best father and husband. He insisted he would drive again and started taking driving lessons with his left leg. And he learned to write again with his left hand. But he kept asking me, please, call BYD. But my mind was still in too many places. One morning, visiting Tua's rehab center, Tua was glum as I walked in. He raised his phone and showed me a picture of His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema in China, visiting the BYD factory. Please call BYD, he asked me. I sighed. Call BYD and say what? I thought. 6 months after Tua's meeting with BYD and after his accident, I sat down in a quiet room, sifted through a few emails that I had been copied in, and saw 3 numbers for Steve Chang from BYD South Africa. It all felt so distant. I called the first number, and it went to an answering machine in China. I hung up. I called the second number, and the same thing occurred. I dialed the last number, and as I was listening to the ringing sound, not expecting anyone to pick up, my thoughts were that I really would be sad if we didn't get this BYD franchise for Zambia. And at that moment, I heard a voice on the other end of the phone saying, hello. Hi, Steve. This is Angelika from Zambia, Tua's wife. Tua had a bit of an accident, and so he hasn't been in touch. I'm calling... The warmest voice greeted me on the other end of the line, as though he had been waiting for this phone call for a very long time, and it was all green lights from then on. Go. The doors opened as we moved gradually forward to signing the dealership agreement between BYD Auto and Pilatus. And we started to construct the first mall showroom at Foxtel Court, putting a designated team together and commencing sales and after-sales training. Through this experience, I have learned to believe in green lights. When it rains, it pours in many ways. Despite the complex decisions to be made in life's journeys, I do believe that when there is an opening and you see green lights ahead, drive forwards towards them, and the path will be illuminated along the way. Pay attention, be sensitive, and listen, and look out for signs and clues along the path, because we are all guided. We just have to be open and to listen to the small inner voice. Tua's inner voice was saying, call BYD. Tua has climbed the biggest mountain, and we are all building our dreams. What are dreams? We have both stood for sustainability and impact in all the work we have done, from a green mall, Foxtel Court, to a green housing development, Foxtel Forest, and a green impact investment fund, Kukula Capital. We have done what we can to support sustainability and a sustainable future, and BYD now feels a part of our DNA in promoting a greener future through technology. I look at the Zambia that we live in today, with load shedding, diesel generators drumming away, burning of fields and garbage, and the sky hazy with smog across the country, in the most beautiful country in the world. Why are we currently in this power crisis? Because of the rising global temperatures due to our carbon emissions, where temperatures are rising rapidly past the target of 1.5 degrees and towards 2 to 3 degrees, a global increase in temperature. When our body temperature rises by 1 to 2 degrees, from say 35 to 37 or 38 degrees, our body has a fever and we feel sick. Our world currently has a fever and is sick. It feels to me like the world has a brain bleed. From what I have learned from the journey caring for my husband and from his determination to recover, is the body's incredible ability to heal. It takes time, years, and we all have to learn the greatest level of patience. But the work put in the work and hold on to hope to keep our spirits up and keep moving forwards slowly. Our Earth equally has the same ability to heal. It requires determination, resilience, and discipline to achieve it, and it will take time. But we must keep on moving forwards, even if the progress is slow. As Barack Obama said, we are the first generation to witness climate change and the only generation who can do something about it. With the innovation of BYD through electrification and technology, it offers us a great step forward to being able to make the green transition and to start to heal our planet. As we have been anxiously waiting for the arrival of our 5 BYD electric vehicles to arrive in Zambia, it has taken me back to memories of my childhood, watching a video of my father pacing back and forth in the late 1970s, watching nervously as a crane slowly offloaded 5 BMW vehicles from a cargo ship in Dar es Salaam. Joe's entire savings held in those 5 vehicles and as well as his future career. I am proud of you, Daddy, for all you have built up and established over these many years and the longevity of Pilatus. Images have flashed in my mind of my sister Gloria greasing her hair with engine oil at the age of about 5. And you can only imagine the mischief that my late brother Joseph and I would get up to in the workshop while living at the back of Pilatus. Joseph, who was simply a phenomenal. The highest achiever, drawing futuristic vehicles he wished to create one day, studying mechanical engineering at Imperial College London. He spoke about creating solar cities, and he was fascinated with electric vehicles and their founders. Joseph was second to none. Thank you, Joseph, for being an angel in this journey of ours, for showing us the green lights and guiding us on this journey. You are always with me. You are part of my quiet inner voice and my guide. Our BYD journey falls in September. We celebrated my father's 70th birthday on Sunday, and my brother would be 35 on the 28th of September this month. September is the time when the seasons change and we turn a new leaf. There are winds of change before the weather warms up and we embrace Zambia in the sun, and the perfect time to reveal to you what these BY vehicles can do. It's time to step into the future of mobility and experience electric driving. Build your dream, BYD. Thank you very much.